So I just got back from California last week, and today I'm going to be talking about why this might be your best option to shoot landscape photography. Stick around. So this is a 70-200 lens, and I was out in Palm Springs, and I'm going to take you guys with me. I shot some video out there, and the first thing I noticed when I got out there was I was completely overwhelmed with the scenery. I had never been out there. I'd actually never been in a space so big and so vast. You would think in landscape photography, you always hear, 14mm, 16mm lenses. Those are like the go-to landscape lenses. So when I got out to Palm Springs, I figured, all right, let me get my landscape lens out. I have my Nikon 16-35. Let me put it on the camera and see what I can get. Well, it was too wide. So in a situation where there was so much space and I really could not compose my images, I was having a hard time. So I ended up going with this lens, my 70-200, and this is something that you can really try doing. I spent the rest of the day shooting with just this, and I ended up getting some really good shots. And when I use this lens, it forces me to look at everything in pieces. Instead of, when I have a wide lens on my camera, I'm trying to imagine everything in that shot. When I put this on the camera, now I'm pulling out little pieces of what I'm looking at. And it changes the way I look at everything all day long while I'm shooting, and I'm able to find small things inside of a bigger scenery and take those shots. So come out with me to California here. We're going to go to Palm Springs, where at the time that I was shooting this, it was 110 degrees. I had never felt that before. It is hot. But it's not humid like everybody says. It's a dry heat, which is true, but hot is hot, right? So we're going to go out there and spend the day with me. I shot around. My wife took some video of me there with the kids. And through most of the time I shot, all the images I'm going to show you throughout the video, I shot with this lens. Hello from sunny and hot. It's 110 degrees today, Palm Springs, California. So tomorrow I'm heading over to Disneyland with the family for the first time. And we stopped off in Palm Springs to spend a couple of days here with some of my wife's family. And as a photographer, I wanted to capture this beautiful landscape that's behind me. But I'm having some trouble finding a composition that works. When I take out my wide-angle lens, it's almost too big. There's too much in the shot, and it's a little hazy, and I'm not getting a good shot. So I put my 70-200 on my camera, and I'm going to go around today and try to create images in such a vast landscape, trying to create something that's interesting. So come along for the ride today. We're going to actually take the tramway to the top of one of the mountains, and hopefully I can create some images that'll work. Now, this is more important than the technical stuff. It's taking a good picture, a good composition. I want to create an interesting image. I don't want to just have this big, wide open image and you don't know what it is. Yeah, it's a mountain. So that's the challenge, is creating a composition that's interesting to the viewer and fun to shoot. Okay, so follow along today. Palm Springs aerial tramway. We're going to go to the top of San Jacinto Mountain and see if we can find some really cool spots to take shots of Palm Springs and the Coachella Valley. To the top of the tramway, and this is the little lodge they have up here, gift shop, snack shop, and now we're going to go outside to the observation deck.
tripping.
Here's definitely better up here.
No, is it? I don't.
I imagine like a vulture being on the top of that tree.
Taking pictures of wildlife. A lizard too. Hey, Billy.
I know the setup looks ridiculous. I know it. Like some sort of camera crazy lunatic. But it makes it easier for me.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Which trail was that one?
Nature Valley or something. Like the granola bar.
Oh, boy, this is a nice easy trail to walk on.
Yes, it is, Bill.
You know Weisenhofer, Gracie?
No.
I have to edit that, so flipping it around like that doesn't work. It's unusable when you do that. Seriously.
What?
You got to do slow cinematic movements.
Not like that?
No.
Why?
I'm going to jump in here because it was at about this time I actually switched from this to my fisheye. So I had been shooting with the 70 to 200 all day, and I wanted to get a different look. And I still didn't want to put on a normal lens because I don't know, it just didn't. It seemed like what I was seeing with my eyes, which was just trees, and I was getting nothing, you know, visually from it. And I was trying to pick out whatever I could with this long lens. And I said, all right, let's go completely the opposite. Let's go to an 8mm lens from 200 millimeters. And I put my fisheye lens on, and so the rest of the shots that you're going to see here, I shot with that.
No. Oh no, I have sap on my hand now.
Is it vanilla sap?
What does this tree smell like?
Nothing. I can't smell anything.
Oh.
I'm taking a whiff of this Jeffrey tree.
Oh, a spider.
Yeah, don't touch it now.
It's sappy.
Ooh, it's all sticky.
Knowing you, you will fall.
You know what?
I'm gonna get it on camera, girls.
So we walked a little bit on some of the trails in the back here. Actually pulled out the fisheye, got some decent shots. This is Julianne, by the way. She's very talkative. Yeah, but I found that the long lens just worked better in this environment. I was able to zero in on, you know, small little details rather than trying to capture the whole thing, which is just almost overwhelming. You don't know what to look at. So we're gonna hike out of here now, get back on the tram. And I think there's a pastrami dinner in our future. Not sure. How's that sound? All right.
So the next time you're out there and you're overwhelmed with a scene, or you're not really sure what lens to go to, try something that maybe you wouldn't have thought of. You know, use a telephoto lens in a situation where you've been told all along, you know, the photography rules, don't use a telephoto lens. Actually, some of my favorite shots that I've ever got have been with this lens, and they're in situations where typically you would think you would use a wide-angle lens. So think outside the box. Just try something different. Do what you want to do. See if you can get creative, and you might be surprised with the results. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, please subscribe. We're going to have a lot more content like this. And if you have any questions, or you're not sure about lenses or focal lengths or how they work on your camera, please ask them in the comments. It can get confusing, especially if you're using a crop sensor camera instead of a full frame. It changes the focal length of lenses. So, you know, don't hesitate to get in touch and ask us some questions. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.
So that hike back up was not easy. Gotta get in shape.